Oh, hey, Mike. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome along to week 2 of No Meat November. The reviews have been flooded in after last week's episode, so the inaugural episode, and they're largely negative. So, yeah, I think it was a bit long, wasn't it? A bit long-winded. I think the episode was 32 minutes long, and I talked for about 26 and a half minutes about beans on toast. So, in hindsight, it does seem like that may be a little bit boring, but it's all constructive criticism. This week's one is going to be way shorter, less beans on toast chat, I promise. And hopefully it's going to be a bit of a less painful viewing experience. But we're adapting and overcoming. We're learning as we go and trying to get better. Can't get any fucking worse, can it? So let's be positive, let's be upbeat, and let's be optimistic. So before we get stuck into this week's episode, I'd like to address the elephant in the room. That fucking monstrosity on my top lip. Obviously it's Movember at the moment. I'm doing it for a good cause, so get off my fucking back. I know, I'm well aware I look like someone who's just started puberty, but I'm trying. Alright, same as with my fucking shit vlogs. I'm trying to do my best, so leave me alone. I suppose one positive that comes from COVID is that you've got to spend 90% of your day wearing a mask, so get to cover it up, and it's not all bad. But anyway, on to week 2 of the challenge. So, did a weigh-in this morning, and from where I was at the start of the challenge 2 weeks ago, I'm actually 2 kilograms down. So yeah, 2 kilos down, which was obviously my goal at the start of the challenge, was to lose a little bit of weight to set me up for Christmas. But I didn't think it would quite be that much. I was thinking maybe 1.5 kilos at most, but yeah, 2 kilos down. And the initial reaction of the first couple of people I've spoken to regarding the weight loss has been, oh, so is that just purely from cutting meat out of your diet? No, it's fucking not. Regardless of whether I've got meat in my diet or not, it's because I've been in a deficit. A calorie deficit, an energy deficit, whatever you want to fucking call it. Now whether that contains meat or it doesn't contain meat, a deficit is a deficit. That's why you lose weight. That's why anyone who's ever lost weight loses weight. It's not specifically down to what food they're eating or what diet they're following. It's because they're putting less calories into their system than they're expending out of their system. And they're in a negative energy balance. Now on to my food intake over the past week. So as I mentioned last week, my breakfast is pretty much the same every day. Porridge or overnight oats. And yeah, I've stuck with that all the way through the week again. Boring! And then lunchtime, much the same. So yeah, more beans on toast. Here's a quick pick for you, because I know how much you love me talking about beans on toast. But as you can see, like I mentioned last week, I don't actually put the beans on the toast. I put the beans next to the toast. It's beans next to toast. A couple of eggs on there, a couple of veggie sausages. Yummy. What a fucking bit of scran that is. So all the days I was at home for lunch, I had a variation of that. Now the times I've been in work at lunchtime, I've prepped to bring my own grub, like this for example. So this is just a tomatoey pasta concoction. As you can see, it's got a few veggie sausages in there. Loads of fucking carbs, but it doesn't matter. I love carbs. I know that's probably going to blow a few people's minds. Fucking hell, how have you lost weight eating carbs? Because again, I'll revert back to my answer earlier. I'm in a fucking energy deficit, and that's all that matters. I've also worked in a few treats this week, so we went out on Saturday night and had a meal. Little tactic I used, so I knew I wanted to have a glass of wine with my meal later in the day. So at breakfast time, I didn't have peanut butter in my porridge. So this saved me about 120 calories, something like that. So when I had my glass of wine with my food in the evening, it balanced out perfectly, and I still remained in my deficit. So again, I worked in a couple of other treats. We went out for a coffee. This is a flat white from Uncommon Ground in Cardiff. So if you're ever in Cardiff looking for a good coffee, this place is number 1 for me. Got fuck all on the first the elephant in Pontyclean. Not a bad replacement. And again, yeah, that's just a flat white. It's not a fucking skinny mini frappuccino with fucking oat milk and almond milk and coconut milk. It's just a flat white, and it was nice. I've also eaten ice cream. Had a couple of beers on Friday night watching the rugby, which incidentally was an absolute shower of shit. But yeah, as you can tell, it hasn't been too restrictive. I've been fairly flexible. And as long as everything works into my plan, I'm happy. And the results I've got have obviously shown that I'm obviously doing something right. Said obviously twice in that sentence, didn't I? What a fucking dick. Now in terms of my training, so I'm still sticking with the same training plan. So that consists of 3 full body workouts a week in the gym and slightly incrementing the weights and the intensity as we go along. But this week we're also back to rugby training, so that's twice a week. Tuesday night we did a charity walk, which was fairly low intensity obviously. And Thursday night we had a football tournament, and my fucking calves couldn't walk like. So we trained Thursday night. I think it took me till about Sunday to be able to walk properly after an hour kickabout with a football. Fucking mental. So yeah, hopefully as training starts to ramp up and my body starts to get used to it, the aching's are going to become less and less. But yeah, at the moment it's been hard work. So yeah, maybe next week I'm going to start a new plan at the end of next week. So maybe I'll introduce a bit of a new split to give certain body parts a rest, because obviously I can't recover as quick as I used to in my old age. Or maybe I'm just unfit as fuck, I don't know at the moment. But anyway, time will tell. Now next week is also going to see the introduction of a diet break. Now the diet break is not just a fucking wild binge for a week. What it is, I'll actually calculate a new daily target that should put me around maintenance level. So whereas I've been in a deficit for these last 2 weeks, I'm now going to be eating at maintenance, which means I should be able to maintain my current body weight. So that's the plan for next week. Obviously, I'm looking forward to getting a few more calories on board and having a bit more energy. Hopefully that'll have a bit of a positive effect on my training as well, and maybe my recovery, so I'll be able to walk a bit better next week. But again, we'll see how we go. And yeah, diet breaks can also be used to counteract adaptive thermogenesis or metabolic adaptation. Now, if you've never heard of those terms, I would suggest, I'll tell you what, I'll put a video link in the comments to an explanation by Lane Norton. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Lane, but he's someone I rate very highly in this industry. Not like one of those fucking hit turkeys off Instagram you see with 1 million followers because they got a nice ass. But he's actually someone who does a lot of research in his fields and talks a lot of sense. So I'll let Lane describe it because he'll do a far better job than I would. But yeah, they're the major reason I'm going on a diet break this week. Obviously mentally it'll give me a bit of a break as well, and it'll allow me a few more treats. And yeah, I'll keep you posted on my progress, and we'll see how we go over the next week or so. Look after yourselves. Hope I didn't bore you too much this week. And yeah, as ever, any constructive criticism is welcome. If you want to like and subscribe, again, that would be much appreciated. Like and subscribe. If you listen to this on podcast, subscribe, chuck me a review, as long as it's not 1 star. And I'll catch you next week. Sorry, Mike.